I entered a VALORANT tournament as a Sentinel, which sounds crazy for me, I know. After all, I did just join my university's VALORANT roster as a duelist. But in that video, I was forced to play Vice for one game, and somehow I popped off. I joined Nerv Onyx, ranked 11th out of 16 teams. To make playoffs, we'd have to win through the last chance qualifier, and that qualifier was my first ever game on Sentinel.
Guys, there's no good content in losing, alright? Understand this.
That's true. I hear that. I hear loud and clear.
Our playoff qualifying game is against Nerv Opal, and we started off on Ascent with the old Fnatic comp. If it wasn't obvious, I don't really know how to play Vice on Ascent. In the first round, I used her flash like a common Cypher Cam. The idea is that it will catch an enemy crossing if I popped it off rip, similar to how the Cypher Cam can be placed at the start of a round to watch for the cat hold. I went into a custom game to see if this works, and yes, it will catch a player, but only if they peek right away, so it's not the best use. Round 3 is a much better example of how to use this flash, especially when playing against a Yoru and a Chamber. This blind told us that one person could be in main, though it was actually just the Sova shooting his recon. But in this round, we had a bigger problem. We were scared to enter sites. Vice's flash recharges in 20 seconds, assuming it wasn't shot. And while in the B main choke, I ended up throwing both Thorns into Market and CT, and I ended up getting my flash back before any of us entered site. By the time I used it, it was too late. Yeah, I got one kill, but the enemy had 3 people already there to support. This ended up putting us down 4-0 in our first map. Not a great start. In the very next round, we go for a mid walk, but I have this feeling that Chamber's gonna peek me from cat. I just can't prove it.
I think Chamber's gonna peek me cat.
Yeah.
Nice, kill.
Huge.
That was a good read and all, but we are struggling on attack, to the point where we needed to take a timeout as the score has now reached 1-7.
Okay, this round we're just gonna hit A. Okay, let's use the Vice ult in this corner. I'll smoke here. I'll smoke heaven, and then I'm gonna ult up to here. Okay.
It didn't help. We lost the next round, and in round 10, we ended up in a 2v2, but they have Yoru and Vice ult. How could we possibly win this round?
Who's next?
You're heaven. Ult.
Adapt or
That's from
die!
the tree.
Last player standing.
Shotgun, bro. I mean,
One enemy remaining.
God.
I kept my composure, even when I only had a classic. In the final round of the half, I commit to a B lurk. Watch how I take this fight against the enemy Vice. After spotting her, I wait for a repeek. Since she didn't swing, I took a wide angle. She then placed her flash on the wall with the intent of fighting, but I wanted to bait her into a false sense of safety. Instead of shooting the flash, I used this right-hand wall to cover it as it popped. I then took a slightly wider peek and took out Vice, getting a crucial man advantage.
Nice.
I then run out and die to Sova like an idiot. This half ended 9-3, but with a strong A-hold using the vines and a strong retake, we took the pistol. It would be a shame if we were to...
3 on
Nice, and
me.
then one close.
Reloading.
130 on the
Last player
92,
standing.
Sova.
TNT.
The enemy never hit my sight after this round, and we ended up losing 13-5. Not a great showing for my first ever game on Sentinel. It's all good though. It's a best of 3, and game 2 is on Abyss. I wonder who I'm playing on this map. Cypher, maybe Vice again? Nope. I am playing everyone's favorite Sentinel, Jett. Okay. You see, I didn't make the team comps, but I was placed on Cypher and Vice for every map, except for Abyss, where my team decided we don't want a Sentinel. Would you look at that? They've got 2 Sentinels. It's a hyper offensive comp against a hyper defensive comp. They have a Yoru and a Chamber. These 2 agents can abuse mid like no other, so we decided on a very simple plan. Slam A 4 times straight. Nothing fancy, just the same hit 4 times in a row. And well, it worked. The pistol was a simple cleanup. We melted them on the anti-eco, myself with the stinger. The bonus was looking a little rough to start, but my Yoru got a massive double kill. And round 4 was a little chaotic, but we pulled through. So why only 4 times in a row? Well, there are 2 reasons. In the last round, Vice had swapped over to A, and this round, we've got Jett knives, which makes scaling up B through jumps so easy. I start by running up and updrafting when my Sova scans the Yoru. After securing this kill with my last knife, I dashed into the spawn smoke to look for more fights, but importantly, Yoru's Vandal was dropped and I picked it up. I then kept running through looking for my next victim, and I used my right click to ensure I got the kill. Since I picked up a rifle, I figured securing this one kill and dashing into spawn to hold would be the best play.
Yeah. It's not planner. Oh shit.
Elro,
Nice.
go deeper. Yes. Live, Elro.
Living.
We're gonna pinch this guy. Swinging.
Both.
Let's go.
Although we had a 5-0 lead, we would end up finishing this half 7-5. Luckily, we won the pistol and barely won our anti-eco, bringing us to a 9-6 scoreline. But in the very next round, it would end in disaster. Almost.
Yeah, they're both on
10 seconds
site.
left.
Backside and heaven.
Last player
Astra's
standing.
bomb. You win.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Spike down, B.
I love this out of you.
Dude, you just scared the shit out of me for no reason.
In the very next round, I decide I want to hold B main like I'm a Sentinel. I start by posting on one of my favorite lines for a peek. I then get out before re-entering the smoke on site for another kill. This fight on Astra gave me my second dash, and I use it in combination with my updraft to barely escape into spawn.
Nice.
My ult's ready.
105 Yoru.
Grabbing a gun and then we can fight together.
65 on chamber. 65 chamber.
I still have line.
Nice.
To be honest, I don't know why you were planted there on 50 HP, but we'll take it. It's now 11-8, and I've got a sheriff. I peek window and shoot at chamber. This reveals my position, and I now realize that I have a new role to play. The enemy will be looking at me 100%. So I use both my smokes to let me drop down to the box. The reason I did this was because it would effectively remove Vice from the round, as she wouldn't be willing to swing sight knowing that I was this close to her. I ended up getting a kill on Yoru anyway, and we barely closed out this eco round. Sometimes, you've got to know when your job has changed from kill to survive. And to close out this map, I pull out the op. My first shot is standard, just hold the line. But I didn't use my dash. The enemy likely expects me to swing out for more, so I pop my dash and use my smoke for cover to catch the Vice off guard. At this point, we are up by 3 players, and I trust my reaction time to get me one last kill onto the Yoru. We win map 2, 13-8. It's time for map 3, which we will be playing on Sunset. You know how Sentinels are defensive-sided agents? Well, for this game, not one thing interesting happened on defense. My setups were all basic, and I only had this one good hold on B site where I killed one and used my cages to stall before killing a second. But with that said, the attack side was different. The pistol round? No, we just lost, giving the enemy an 8-5 lead, 9-5 if you account for the anti-eco round. Well, unless you forget to account for me, of course.
Down 50. Nice trade. Viper backside.
Oh yeah, reload.
Fight together, fight together.
Enemy remaining.
Nice.
Grab a gun.
City.
Brad, be careful. Your crosshair.
Last player standing.
Nice, boy.
That was a pivotal round, but we actually played it terribly at the end. You see, from the angle that my breach was positioned, there was no safe way for me to peek off him fast enough to kill Deadlock, assuming she hugged this back wall, which she did. In fact, by putting myself behind this box, I actually gave this Deadlock the best chance of winning, especially since she knew I was there. In the very next round, I used one of my favorite personal ideas with Cypher. You throw a cage into the wall, pop it, and use it as cover to place a deep Cypher cam that you can then use for information later in the round. Watch how I was able to clear front A 30 seconds after I placed it. I just thought it was an interesting use of the camera. I lurked a lot this game, and in round 23, you can see how I ended up keeping 2 players on A, breaking Deadlock's wall, and baiting out Omen's one way, letting my team hit B with very little resistance. Since we were able to take B, this is the first round I decided not to regroup with my team, but go for the late flank instead.
You need to chill out. You need to hold my smoke, bro.
They have no idea about Lroh. Pineapple.
Nice. Last two.
Off.
7 on stun. We have
Blind
1.
deck.
2.
I'm blinding.
Blind it.
3.
Blind.
4.
Sticky.
Enemy remaining.
Nice, boy!
Nice.
Yo. Playoffs, baby.
Playoffs.
For the first round of playoffs, I get to play my favorite Sentinel, Neo.
2 hours later.
Okay. What actually happened was that our duelist player couldn't make it to the first game, so I filled in for his role. We played against BR AIM, and we won in 2 games. Now, back to the Sentinel. Round 2 of the playoffs, and we are set to face Empire Redux, the 3rd seed in this tournament. Map 1 is on Corrode, and I get to play Cypher, but I don't know how this agent works on the attack side of Corrode. I'm taking some very simple fights, like in round 10 where I buy a Marshal and use it to peek over the mid smoke placed by the Omen.
Alright, I'm gonna try to fake B.
Nice.
The thing is, most of my lurks would look like this. I'd get the initial space with my camera, and I would then place this trip to deny reclears from my enemy, and then, well, that was it. I kinda did nothing else after that point. I basically wasn't helpful the rest of the round since I didn't yet know how to safely pressure the B side of the map. Instead of trying to learn on the spot, I figured it would be better if I just went with the pack and fought with them. The thing is, it was a better solution, in the short run. I was temporarily relieved of the feelings of not knowing what to do, but it meant that I didn't grow in this game, at least not on attack. Coming into the second half, we were down 12-4, We had a few rounds, including this one cool setup I made. The idea was that I would abuse the Odin to get a few kills on the A rush. I doubled my trips up on the same side, so even if the enemy thought they had broken my trip, they would run into the same one a few feet away. My cam was placed here on back sight as a way of warning me if an enemy got through elbow, since I decided to fully give it up. I ended up getting my first kill with my unexpected trip placement, and I didn't end up needing my camera as the Neon sprinted through elbow so fast that I knew she was already there on sight. After escaping, I would keep on spamming this wall while they tried to plant. Take a look at how much damage I ended up doing. We would lose this game 7-13. We now need to pull off the same move we did in our first series, and on the same map as well. Unfortunately, this game didn't start off well at all, especially for me. I got a few good entries, but I was not pulling my own weight. We won the pistol round on the defensive half, but it was now up to me to ensure we won our anti-eco. In this 1 versus 1, I don't have a clue as to where the Astra might be playing, but since we haven't seen him a single time this round, my only guess is that he's on some sort of a flank.
Oh my god, he's cold. He's cold.
I'm back, and it's my chamber-like style on Jet that is getting me these kills. We get put on a retake in round 17, and after killing this Omen, I get an idea. Since this wall is cutting off all noise to the other side, and I have jet knives, which are perfectly accurate no matter what, I decide to jump off the map, hover far out, and peek through the wall on an angle my enemy could never expect me.
One enemy remaining.
2 rounds later, and we need to pull out one of our set plays. A simple dash down mid with Omen's Paranoia, playing retake on the extremities. With this kill secured, we end up in a big retake, and I get the chance to drop out of heaven as my Yoru's ult has just confirmed that everyone is looking CT.
Ah, what's funny?
I'll play backside. I'll play backside.
I'm stunning it.
One enemy remaining.
Astra's also back there.
Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
Dude, he is.
That round got us our first lead, a lead that we wouldn't hold on for long. We would lose the next 3 rounds and end up in a 4 versus 3 retake, which quickly turns into a 2v2, and it's a match point against a Sova ult.
Tap early. Jet off. Smoke.
And we have a smoke.
Yep. I didn't know where I was playing. I had no comms.
He up dropped it. Sova. Stick.
In an attempt to bring this game to overtime, I decided to move my op to A for the first time.
This happened.
Oh, and man.
With that nice shot, the game is over, and our team falls apart. We are knocked down to the lower bracket. Lose one more time, and we are out for good. For the lower quarterfinals, we are facing up against Celestrix, and we are starting on Sunset. I did not put up a good performance the last time I played defense on Sunset, and I want to change that. For the pistol, I opted to use this backside retake setup. This trip didn't end up getting hit, but my backside cage designed for the retake came in huge. When popped, this cuts off the right side of sight completely, allowing us to focus on the left. But in this round, you can see how we ended up using this cage to instead take space on the Yoru that we just found with the Fade Prowler, allowing for an easy trade.
One enemy remaining.
On Cypher, I like to use one of my cages for my setup and hold on to the second one for a more reactive style of play. In the anti-eco, you can see how the moment I get this kill, I use my cage to give me some cover. When I see this Yoru TP cross my screen, I realize that I am about to be trapped between multiple players. So I figured my best move is to try and fight this Yoru with my Sheriff instead of my Outlaw. After I take out Yoru, I run into B main where I set up my first cage. But why not go market or back sight? You see, my teammate just got killed by Omen and Boba. Meaning, there are only 4 reasonable possibilities within this round. A. The Sova is market and the Omen is back sight. B. The Sova is B main and the Omen is back sight. C. The Sova and Omen are in market. Or D. The Omen is in market and the Sova is in B main. When you have all these together, you realize that there are 3 out of 4 scenarios in which I have to take a fight in market, one of which is a 2 versus 1. On the other hand, if I go B main, there are only 2 out of 4 scenarios where I could face an opponent, and each time it's a 1v1. So the optimal play to try and survive is to run into B main, and in this round, it worked as the Sova ended up being in market. In round 4, you can see the value of this very common Cypher cam. It watches both B main and market at the same time, but in this 2v2, it revealed that the Omen was fake ulting to the B site. Though I was the only one who heard the cancellation sound at the end, this helped us convert the round.
Just left.
Stuck.
Yeah, maybe nice.
One thing I really like to do is move my Cypher setups mid-round. Here, I realize the enemy is hitting A, so I pick up my trip and I move it to top mid while I rotate, just to stop any potential flanks. You know how I said I wanted to have a better defensive half? Well, I didn't. I was good at getting my kill on sight, but I almost never survived right after. And it shows as I ended the half with 8 kills and 8 deaths. But in the very next round, I would make an incredibly stupid play by assuming my left was clear, resulting in me dying while I placed my camera. This is especially bad since we are on an anti-eco round, and we'd end up losing, largely because my flank watch went down. To try and make up for my mistake, I buy a sheriff in the next round and I go on the lurk. I take up to top mid, but this Cypher's camera is being popped every few seconds to watch the flank. I am going to need to catch a timing. Once I get that kill, I use my cages to get me the gun and put myself in a very annoying position, and we win the round. This game is still close, so I decided to go on my first B lurk of the game. But I learned something from my earlier match on Corrode. I can't just sit in main and hope the enemy brings the fight to me. I need to bring the fight to them.
I'm looking left, looking left.
After I killed Yoru, I realized that I was only 1 orb away from my ult, so I run back into main, grab the orb, and ult Yoru's body. We end up taking the site, and off the back of my IGL's late flank, we tie the score. The enemy ends up taking the next 2, so I go for a B lurk again, and get super lucky when this Neon misses her op shot. Unfortunately, the enemy now knows where I am, so I won't be able to sneak up on them. Surely a Cypher who was just spotted in B main wouldn't just walk up dry, especially if he knew an op was just posted there.
I'll get it.
That would be my last kill of the game, but my team would end up carrying my slack, securing us the win right before overtime could start.
Wow.
Nice! Good shot.
Game 2, and it's pretty evident that I'm an offensive-sided player. In this B-site post plant, we are down numbers, so I take initiative and I make a play. I know there are 2 C links, so I use my cage to cut off the right side while I focus on the left. After my missed shot, I wait a second to reset my jump, and then I pounce on the Omen. I'm taking aggressive timings on my lurks, and I'm not afraid to swing my opponent. In our bonus round, I managed to pick up a Vandal, and the enemy decided it would be a good idea to swing into us. I use my cage as cover while we scale up, and while I grab this orb, but the enemy Cypher ended up being in short. Luckily, I made short work of him.
Nice.
I'm back to lurking in round 6, winning a super unfavorable fight against a judge and catching the C rotates off guard. And, in the very next round, I am placed in a 1v2 clutch. I know I don't have a lot of time before they group up, so I run to take a quick fight onto the Neon. I then use my cage for cover while I rip my ult to find Sova. Seeing as he was droning, I try to catch him off guard quickly, but he was in a safe position, and it's right here, I simply wait. I don't need to panic. I have a whole minute to play with, so I just wait until the Sova swings right into my crosshair.
That's going in the vid.
My holds are working, and this Neon has swung short with an op 2 times in a row, so I decide to try and cover the common Sova dart by playing on the edge of my Cypher cage as I hold for the Neon swing.
That's an op, that's an op. Nice.
It's the same round, and I get put in another clutch situation. I'm not sure why Sova peeks here when stunned, but it's now a 2 versus 1. Omen swings me, but we both suck, and I move into CT. It's here that I hold a tight angle, but the moment I see this Omen smoke forming, I swing wider in the hopes the enemy will make a mistake, and they do. Luckily, I remember that I killed Sova right behind me, so while my ult goes off, I decide I want to try and catch the Omen off guard by peeking before my second tag goes off.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Final round of the half, and my aim is simply on. I take out Omen in Garage, but we end up in another man disadvantage. I decide to pressure CT before walking through Garage to try and catch the enemy off guard. I sloppily get 1 and retreat back to site to once again take a fight to the enemy. I get 1, die, and get traded for the round win. All this on the back of being proactive instead of reactive. The second half starts off great. We managed to take a massive lead by winning the pistol, anti-eco, bonus, and then I end up in this 1v1 for a 4th straight.
Graffiti stuff.
One more. Dude, nice. Oh my god, if it's anybody in the 1v1, I want it to be Lroh.
Up 11-5, I begin to play poorly, and here's why. I start playing to react to enemy plays instead of bringing the fights to them. I play like a coward, and well, it shows. 11-5, I die on sight. 11-6, I die on sight. 11-7, I die on sight. 11-8, I die on sight. 11-9, I die on sight. 11-10, I die on the retake. 11-11, I die on the retake. 11-12, I die on the retake. We lose. I got 1 kill in the last 9 rounds. We're going to map 3. After playing so scared, even though we had a 6-round lead, I make the decision to fight up as much as I can. I walk into smokes on ecos, push the enemy spawn while on a lurk, and generally just take super deep space on site takes. I was making use of shotguns on the offensive half, pushing smokes with judges, and putting the shorty to great use in places like A Heaven. But there was a problem. I just showed you a bunch of kills. Really? I was losing a bunch of fights. And I was forced to play passive angles for the vast majority of the round, which just isn't how I play, and I ended up doing pretty mediocre on the offensive half. Luckily, I was doing well with the AWP in my hand. Even on the retake, I got picks on rotates, though a little sloppy for sure. And with this 1v2 from my Astra, we were up 12-9, but I've seen this lead fall before. It's 12-11, and they've hit B twice in a row. I need to shut this push down. I hold the line, not shooting the obvious fake clone, and I kill the KO before escaping. It was a fake. The enemy's going A.
Nice, that's one.
Wait. It's now a retake on A, and the Omen got one before ulting away, right into my crosshair.
One enemy remaining.
Nice, nice.
Huge.
Heaven still.
I hit him.
10. Nice!
Yes, sir. Good shit.
We win game 3. We survived this round. Game 1 was a 13-11, game 2 was 11-13, and game 3 was once again 13-11. An incredibly close series, but we pulled through. It's the lower semifinals, and we are in a rematch. You know that team that we beat when I played Duelist? The one that I skipped over? Well, they have made a crazy lower bracket run where they defeated the #1 seed in this tournament. But this time, I'm not on Duelist. Game 1 is on Lotus, the same map and agent that inspired me to make this video in the first place. It's time to see whether or not I just got lucky in that first game. Only difference, we're starting on attack. Round 1, we go for a simple B fake into a C hit, and well, the post plant was clean. I hit 2 nice shots to stop the waterfall players, and we secured the opening round. We go for the same play in round 2.
Am I?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, another round 2 toss. This game isn't going bad overall though. We seem to have really good C post plants in general, like when I re-wrap using the enemy smoke to catch the fade from behind.
Fatal sight.
Could be on. 80 fade.
One
Off.
enemy remaining.
Nice!
I'm playing with confidence, and I hold my line without fear. After sloppily killing this Viper, I am left on 4 bullets. But when a player breaks my Thorn, I realize that I don't have a safe escape anymore. Had this Thorn got off, it would have stalled enough time for me to open the door again and escape. But since a player broke it, I had to fight. I hold with confidence, win my fight, and open the door again. But I hear the Ray Satchel be main, so I turn for the fight and hold the line once more, securing the 3rd kill. I'm playing well now. I'm catching kills on lurk timings and baiting out Vice's wall. In the same round, I end up in this 1v3 where I'm forced to clutch, but I make one crucial mistake. Once I killed the fade, I reposition to drop to wait for my opponent, and they give me one of the best chances to win this round. This tournament was right before the Vice nerfs, so when they placed the flash and drop, I used the box to block the flash before retaking the line. Unfortunately, I shoot too fast. My nerves got to me. Had I just waited a little longer, I would have killed both players, as they would have wrongfully assumed I wasn't dropped based on this flash. As Vice, I usually have my full kit in the post plant, minus my wall. I like to use my thorns as an initial stall tool and use my flash to set up a free kill. In this round, I ended up placing my flash on the floor so I could fight stairs on a timing, but funny enough, I ended up using it to kill the Vice on flank. The moment I heard her footsteps reach this zone, I popped the flash assuming she was looking toward main, and I got the free kill. I killed Viper for good measure as well. A strong showing on the offensive side, going 13-5. I now just need to go up big for defense. So, I decided to pull out the same move I did in my tryout. I used my flash to gather info into main a couple of times in a row to lower my enemy's guard, and I set up my trap. 4 rounds in a row, I place my flash into C main, and I use it as a pure info gathering tool. The groundwork has been set, the trap is ready, it's now time to execute.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, they put an exit smoke on B.
Oh, he's out. I wasn't looking.
Oh, it's just, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. Why did I flash before shooting one player? I've done this trap before. I did make it after all. So why did I go so early for no reason? Whatever. I need to reset myself. We still have a large lead, and I just need to keep it that way. It's now 10-9, and the enemy is going for a full C hit. I need to redeem myself. All at once, I get naded and Vice ulted. So while running out of the nade, I rip my own Steel Garden, not only to stall the push, but to remove any guns that are currently on site. I already accounted for the enemy Vice ult, so I used my sight hold flash with a shorty purchase to take out this raise. But instead of retreating, I went for a second kill and died. We lose this round, but we end up in a 5 versus 3 on our eco. My teammate throws his recon into B main, but I don't trust it. This recon is too easy to dodge, so despite the enemy Omen being spotted at A, I decide to walk up B with my stinger.
Yep.
I was right. This eye is super easy to dodge, as you can very quickly tuck behind either of these walls. This is why players like to use their prowlers for B main clears, as it's way harder to dodge. It was a good thrifty, but we keep losing after this, and the enemy makes it to match point. If we want to bring this to overtime, we are going to need to win this 2 versus 2 retake. When the Omen rips his ult, I jump toward his body to ensure he sticks, otherwise they will have a nasty crossfire. He ended up going into main, and the bomb is planted bottom site, so I used the Omen smoke to catch an odd timing. Although I didn't get the kill, I would get the shot right after, giving me my ult, which I pop as fast as humanly possible. I pull out the shorty and jump for the kill. We are going to overtime. Nothing crazy actually ended up happening in overtime. We won game 1, and we now get to move on to Ascent. But this time, I know what I am doing. I now have enough reps on Vice to understand how I should play this map. Come round 1, I learned that my flash can serve as an incredibly annoying tool on the post plant. In this round, I'm waiting for my enemy to use their paranoia and run out with confidence. I will then pop my flash and take fights. And it worked great, catching the Yoru and the Omen before I cleaned up with a nice shot. For round 2, I pull out one of my offensive Vice setups. I know that I currently have a worse gun than most of my team, but I also control an entire side of the map. In this case, my job is to keep myself alive and maintain the B side of the map. I deploy a simple trap. I place my wall here for 2 reasons. One is to watch for flanks if we decide to hit B, or just cover for the mid round. And the second purpose is as an isolation tool. Since this wall is indestructible, it will cut off the first person across it from the rest of their team. The second piece of this trap is this flash. The idea is to pop this flash when the wall goes off to blind the isolated player and allow me to secure a safe kill. In this round, the enemy rushes me, and I secure 1 kill on Vice before my wall activates. I then pop my flash, but it was a Yoru, so he did manage to escape. Now that my enemy has seen my super passive hold, I decide to play an aggressive lurk into B main, and in this round, I plan to abuse the enemy's Sova dart timer. He darts at the very start of the round, and since this game was played before the dart recharge nerf, it will take 40 seconds to recharge. So my plan is to be near this corner when the clock hits around 1 minute. This will give me enough time to tuck and dodge the most common Sova dart, hopefully catching the Sova by surprise. So when I hear the Sova begin to throw the dart at the 1 minute mark, I begin to tuck.
Playing off the chamber.
Are you guys able to tuck?
Yeah, we can talk.
Here. Tuck until I show myself A.
He was aware of the gap, but since I bought a Vandal, I was able to take him out, opening up the round before pretending to leave. I then walked back and secured the round with this shot. Toward the later end of this half, I played a more reserved style of lurk. We were already up by several rounds, so I didn't want to make any crazy risky plays, but I wasn't going to just hide either. I'd take B main with my flash, sometimes using my thorn to really lock down the choke, while I placed a deep wall and picked up my flash. My aim was also on point this game, even though we did lose this round. Since we had just lost a round, I decided to go for a deep lurk. I managed to get through bottom mid and make my way behind the enemy. I get Vice ulted, but since Yoru isn't looking my way, I secure the first kill before running to help my teammate. I throw thorns onto the bomb to try and stop the defuse, but the first one somehow misses, so I tuck. Throw a second, and because I don't have a lot of experience on Vice, I miss again. Seeing as the enemy is probably just sticking the bomb as we speak, I just jump out, making sure to bunny hop just in case I see him get off the bomb. He doesn't, and I barely secure the kill before he could defuse. The very next round, I'm holding with confidence. I'm hitting my shots, and if somebody were to peek me here, surely I
B main, Sova.
The half finishes 9-3. So we certainly fumbled the last couple of rounds, and we end up in a 2v2 on the pistol, but unfortunately, we lost due to time. Here's the thing. Me and my team have lost quite a lot of our anti-eco rounds, but who's to say we can't do the same? Who's to say that my classic can't be as lethal as a Vandal? Who's to say that I can't hold my sight?
I'm about to sit with you.
Who's to say that I can't get another kill while on 20 HP? In fact, who's to tell me that I can't get a third?
One enemy
Last
remaining.
CT left.
We win this round, and we take the game alongside it. We are now in the lower bracket finals. It's our first best of 5, and winning would mean making the grand finals. But the team we're up against, well, they're the number 2 seed, and they wanted to get into the finals just as bad as we do. We are going to be fighting an uphill battle. Our opponent is Overlooked Esports, and we'll be starting off on Sunset. Unfortunately, this entire series, my audio files got mixed into one, so it might sound a little odd. To say this game started poorly would be an understatement. We were losing rounds in ways that no team should, like in round 3 where we ended up in a 4 versus 3 post plant with rifles against SMGs, but we give multiple 1v1s and fumble the round. In the very next round, we win our A fight with Stingers, but I end up getting killed in a way that I thought didn't make sense. This player should not be able to see me on this line, but he ends up hitting a non-wallbang headshot. Just thought that was an interesting kill. To put it lightly, we are getting destroyed. I thought maybe my lurks could make a difference, and I was able to convert some kills with them, but no. We were simply being outclassed at every turn. The first half ended 2-10, and even though I had 9 kills, the vast majority of them had no impact on the round. Just kills when I was in a 1 vs 4, or after the round had ended. I have nothing to really talk about in this game. As you can see, we got destroyed map 1, and you can tell I was upset as this recording cuts off basically the moment we lost. It was simply a slaughter. We came into Lotus determined to not let Overlooked take another map. Not like last game, and it showed in our pistol as we had a strong 4-man execute and win in the 2 vs 2 post plant. Round 2, however, it happens again. We lose our anti-eco. We are getting shot through smokes, running into enemy crossfires, and getting out-aimed in general. And the enemy would start to abuse spam weapons like the Odin, such as in round 4, where I'm taking one-on-one fights and getting pelted by an Odin the entire time. And I don't have a weapon that can fight back. I'm still shooting quite well, but I'm beginning to realize that something needs to change. We're getting a lot of opening kills, but we can't convert post plants, and when we do, it's not clean, and we barely make it out alive.
Nice. Oh, a little shaky, a little shaky.
But we are converting on the C post plants, even when it looks like this.
Come in.
DTP. What am I doing?
I'm going down.
I'm chilling.
Nice.
Good shit, good shit.
We managed to take 4 rounds, and every time we won it, it was on the C site. Although 4-8 isn't a very good scoreline, especially considering that we won the pistol, it does give us a foothold in this game. I have a good hold of C site as the enemy Vice decided to entry all by herself, but our team's communication is down, as this orb just drops without any warning.
I'm watching behind you right now.
Oh, fuck, you called that orb.
Oh shit, yeah, it's down.
Luckily, we ended up winning the pistol regardless. Come the bonus round, I get my 1 kill on Neon before dying, but my Neon ends up taking this round for us with a clean 3 kills, and suddenly, the gap has shrunk to 1. Our retakes and awareness of the enemy pushes are strong, and we end up tying this game at 9 apiece before dropping the next 2 rounds. But once again, our retakes are strong. In round 21, the enemy pressures deep into C-Link. Seeing as my normal ult spot is in a very dangerous position, I decide to rip it right here to take away weapons from any enemies aggressing C-Link, and we secure the retake cleanly.
Yes,
Nice.
Good retake.
This game is getting close, and I end up placing my Vice wall wrong as I'm rushing to place my utility. In this round, the enemy Vice uses my misplaced wall to sneak past my setup, and the moment she got across, she told her teammate to trigger the wall, which pulled me out into the open, where she would then secure the kill.
He's on site. Oh my god.
Oh, what's that?
This game is in the final stretch now. We end up down 11-12. To secure overtime, I decide to pull out the play that inspired me to make this video. Like in every map of Lotus, I've been placing the deep sea flashes to condition my opponent, but in this game, I threw this flash every single round of defense, and I was saving it for the most important round I could. This flash is what I built my entire defensive playstyle on: conditioning, aggression, and surprise. I place my flash one more time, walk into the corner, and I wait.
Okay, dog B. I'm gonna wall up for B. Keeping it up.
C1. Pass
Letting
it.
go.
Once Viper wall goes down, can you eye?
It fails. The enemy shoots my box that I was using for cover, and I am out of the round. With no Sentinel so early on, the enemy takes advantage of our gaps on the map, and we lose this game 11-13.
How many TPs behind you?
Oh, fuck. Got it.
Yes, there is one more map to play, but the thing is, we got destroyed just like in the first game. And it really wasn't even close. We lost 4-13 again. I played okay, I say goodbye to my team, and I log off. We are officially eliminated from the playoffs. You know what? This tournament showed me something. I kind of liked playing Sentinel. Don't get me wrong, I also enjoyed all the games on Duelist, but I felt like I was comfortable on this new role despite having no reps on it. You know what? I have an idea. I want to try something new. I'm going to enter a tournament, but this time, I will not be on Sentinel, and I won't be on Duelist. For my next tournament, I want to be a...
Being able to get the... Oh my god. Double kills from Lroh. Three from Lroh.
Oh,
he's got
baby.
one more. He's going to activate the... He's activating his ult.
If you want to see what led me this way, you should consider checking out my other videos. I want to start posting every 2 weeks, and the faster I can make YouTube my full-time job, the faster I can create these videos. I am on a journey to go pro in Valorant, and if you want to come along with me, subscribe. There's more content like this coming in the future, so don't miss out.